Onlad of Maceria, Banishing the Evil Shadows, from the series Fairytales That Believe in You. When the people of Maceria first united long ago, they did their best to include ancient sacred laws into the rules of the land. Why do such a thing? To prevent any rulers to fall ill to mysterious evil shadows, like those in the kingdoms their ancestors fled from years before. Alas, over time, other men with authority slowly became ill too, tricked by the shadows to make ill choices, slowly leading their hearts away from their holy soul connections, making them ignore the written rules their people trusted them to uphold. Yet, one day a young man called Onlad the Prompt came to know of the shadow's terrible influence and began putting himself in between them and the people of Maceria. Onlad was prompt indeed, for whatever the shadows tried, no matter which one of their servants they sent to try and make Onlad ill, it was to no avail. Somehow, Onlad was countering all their usual tricks, preventing their influence to fully overtake Maceria. This angered them deeply. So they summoned their servants and slaves to march onto Maceria, hiding their spears in the flagpoles, camouflaging their ill weapons in their decorations and fancy clothing. They knew Onlad the Prompt was prompt indeed, so when they saw him across a river playing golf with his family and friends, they decided to surprise him and used their ill magic to make a bridge of gold. But shadows cannot cross running water unless they are being carried, so they told their servants they would transform them into noble steeds, ride them over to the other bank, and change them back afterward. The bridge of gold would be their reward once they reached Onlad. The servants agreed, yet rather than steeds, they were changed into donkeys. The spell could only make the steed as normal as the souls of the servants. Their masters climbed on their backs and began filming the news of their victory for all to see. Yet Onlad the Prompt was unimpressed, waving his golf club at them defiantly. The mules kept marching as the hot sun reflected on the bridge of gold, making it more and more uncomfortable as they carried on, while their masters kept insulting and mocking everything Onlad would do or say, calling him a bad golfer for using a club instead of a putter to finish his play. As the convoy was reaching the other side, the mules in front suddenly halted, crying out donkey noises. They had seen something that scared them, but were unable to say anything in their donkey form. So their masters forced them forward. Other donkeys began to resist, crying and shaking their heads, stomping their hooves, trembling with fear, while their masters on their backs ignored them and maintained an air of dignity. As the noisy parade stumbled forward, more and more people watching the news began seeing the nonsense and confusion, questioning its odd behavior. The procession was now having to go uphill when a sudden rain began, making the path muddy and slippery, increasing a wet load on the donkeys' backs, unable to climb any further. Rain was falling harder, the waters rising quick. The agitated mules began kicking and splashing mud on their masters. So the masters shut the news to avoid being seen disembarking in a total mess, fighting against their panicked mules as all attempted to escape the flooding waters. A few managed to take refuge back on the bridge of gold, but unable to cross back due to the waters already too high on all sides. Their end was near, but they were still desperate to make Onlad ill. So they used the only donkey that was left with them as a sacrifice, to make one last ill attempt at infecting Onlad or anyone near him. Right then a lightning bolt struck the bridge of gold, breaking both the bridge and the spell, washing away the source of the ills that had plagued humanity for thousands of years. As the night shows, the signals grow on hearts and souls. All the strange things, they come and go as early warnings, Stranded stockades now have a place to hide, while waiting for the olden eastern tribes. A new point of direction where humans need to choose a side. They took the old track, the hollow shoulder across the waters. On the tall cliffs, the wise have gathered with sons and daughters. The jaded underworld was riding high, waves of steel through metal at the sky. And as the veil sunk in the clouds, the rain was warm and drenched the crowd. Oh Christ, here comes the flood. Say goodbye to rights of flesh and blood. If again the seas are silent in any still alive, it'll be those who gave their island to survive. Stand up, humans, and make the sky. When the flood calls, you have no home, you have no walls. In the thunder crash, you'll be 1,000 minds within a flash. Don't be afraid to cry at what you see. Bad actors gone, there's only you and we. 'Cause if we break before the dawn, they'll use up what we used to be. Oh Christ, here comes the flood. Say goodbye to rights of flesh and blood. If again the seas are silent in any still alive, it'll be those who gave their island to survive. Stand up, humans, and make the skies. Did Onlad the Prompt know the flood would happen? Did his family and friends know? How did Onlad learn about the Shadow's ill tricks and how to counter them? This would be quite another tale to share. You might get a glimpse of what those tales are about when understanding why the donkeys suddenly halted once across the bridge. They saw that Onlad was not playing golf at all. They saw the Maceria military spaceship hovering in the distance. They saw who was hidden nearby, watching discreetly to ensure the rules and laws of Maceria were respected and allow humans to choose with their own will, free from the Shadow's ill tricks. So no wonder Onlad's family and friends remained calm, for they knew Onlad the Prompt was prompt indeed. This tale was inspired by a drawing shared by Robert David Steele on his YouTube channel on January 21st, 2021. I have no rights on the pictures, I have no good microphone, and I have no singing voice. I do this with all my heart. I wish you the peace of Christ.